Beauty, good morning and welcome. Thank you for joining us. Now, the makeshift classrooms were meant to be prepared and learners rather, were expected to resume schools today. Can you just, for the benefit of our viewers, just tell us what is the current situation with these makeshift learning spaces?
Okay. Morning, Lerato, and to the listeners. In terms of the mobile classrooms that we were supposed to provide as a temporary measure, yes, the mobiles are on their way, but we have got different teams that have been deployed to the schools to make an assessment in terms of whether learners have come back to the schools as agreed. But however, to our disappointment, we did not find learners at the various schools, but the mobiles would be coming in from this afternoon, Lerato.
From the afternoon, okay.
Yes.
And then, EBT, according to your department, renovations or the damages rather caused to the 24 schools could amount to millions of rands, and which is not budgeted for. So, what is the go-ahead plan? Are there any plans that have been put to place into, making sure that these schools are up and running at any time?
Yes, Lerato, there are plans that have been put in place to make sure that the schools are up and running. For example, I've indicated the issue of the mobile classrooms that we're bringing in as a temporary measure. But in terms of the long-term plan, in terms of making sure that we resuscitate and reconstruct the schools, we are in engagement with our provincial treasury, the Department of COCTA in the province, COCTA nationally, and the National Treasury in terms of the disaster funding allocation in this regard, because as a province, we do not have this budget to address this challenge that we're facing with. But collaboratively, in terms of the national department and the provincial treasury, there are plans that are currently underway to make sure that we are able to address this challenge. Thanks, Lerato.
And Beauty, in these plans, can you not maybe divulge one or two? Because I understand that this is not in the budget at all. So where is this money going to come from exactly?
You'd remember, Lerato, if a disaster, the municipality has declared the area as a disaster, which then says in terms of us accessing funding, we need to then get an allocation from the disaster fund allocation. So this is how it's going to be addressed.
Okay. And then as for the learners that have been arrested and also the minors that were involved in this, as a Department of Education, how are you going to handle their own case? Will they be allowed back to school, or how's that going to work out?
Lerato, in this case, it is a different area that must deal with the justice system. We will together try and see how best we can address this particular matter, but I am not able to speak on that aspect. Yes.
Okay, just one more question for you, Beauty. I know that this happened because of protests by community members, which actually had something to do with the municipality. But as we may see it, the Department of Education was affected nonetheless because of what has happened now with the 24 schools being burned down. With the situation now with that, what can you say as a Department of Education to the community of Vuwani in terms of how to handle this going forth?
Lerato, what we are saying to the community of Vuwani is that as a department, we are ready to make sure that our learners, receive education in terms of teaching and learning, resuming at the school. That is why there was a call in terms of saying today the learners must come back to the school after the consultation with the various stakeholders and an agreement that was reached. However, as evidence today, we are on the ground. There are no learners that are here at the school, but we're still continuing to make a call to say, as a department, we are ready in terms of making sure that we support and provide the necessary resources for the learners to come back to school.
All right. On that note, then, thank you very much, Beauty. That was Beauty.